The galaxy feared another war, but they also knew that fear alone wouldn't hold them back forever. Both sides engaged in a delicate dance, teetering on the edge of full-scale war, but neither willing to be the first to make an overt move. For now, humanity held its ground, continuing its covert build-up of military strength. The Council, uncertain of how to proceed, hesitated, aware that any misstep could shatter the fragile peace. It was a tense, volatile situation, with Earth and the AGC locked in a silent struggle for dominance, waiting for the other to blink. The galaxy watched, knowing that a single spark could ignite a conflict that would change everything. But humanity wasn't afraid. They had come too far to stop now. The Council could threaten, negotiate, or bluster all they wanted, but Earth had made its choice, and when the time came, they would be ready to fight. The alien Galactic Council made their final move. A massive fleet was dispatched to Earth, intended as a show of force, an intimidation tactic to remind humanity of their place. It was a clear message: submit or be destroyed. But Earth had been preparing for this moment. The human leadership had anticipated such a response and used every resource at their disposal to ensure they wouldn't be caught off guard. As the AGC fleet entered Earth's vicinity, the Council commanders expected a swift victory. After all, humanity was still considered technologically inferior. Yet when they scanned the area, they found no traditional battle formations. Instead, Earth's forces were scattered, hidden, and mobile, no grand fleets waiting for destruction. This wasn't going to be a conventional battle. Humanity had no intention of playing by the AGC's rules. Earth's forces relied on guerrilla tactics, striking from unexpected angles and quickly retreating before the AGC could retaliate. Cyber warfare played a critical role. Human hackers, now proficient in alien systems, infiltrated the AGC's communications, sowing confusion and causing their ships to turn on each other. Entire sectors of the AGC fleet were rendered useless through sabotage, their systems malfunctioning at the worst possible moments. While the Council had the numbers, Earth had the strategy. The AGC commanders grew increasingly frustrated. For every battle they tried to start, humanity sidestepped or crippled their efforts before they could land a decisive blow. What was meant to be a quick display of power had turned into an embarrassing, slow-burning defeat. Even more humiliating for the Council was that Earth broadcasted its success to the galaxy. Streams of footage showed AGC ships faltering, their mighty fleet struggling against a much smaller force. This public exposure severely damaged the Council's image of control and invincibility. As the galaxy watched, the power dynamics shifted. Factions that had once feared the AGC began to reconsider their loyalties. Earth's tactical victory was more than just a military success, it exposed internal problems within the AGC. Their aging infrastructure seemed to be breaking down, though in reality, it was human agents operating in the shadows, quietly crippling the Council's ability to maintain order. Back on Earth, scientists and engineers reverse-engineered stolen alien technology, making breakthroughs that should have taken humanity centuries. Each piece of tech was a step closer to Earth becoming a formidable power in its own right. Earth's military capabilities grew in secret, hidden behind the guise of peaceful reconstruction. The AGC, still suspicious but unable to confirm humanity's involvement, hesitated to act. Breaking the ceasefire could plunge the galaxy back into chaos, something none of the major factions wanted. As tensions mounted, the Council's paranoia deepened. More and more factions within the AGC began pointing fingers, accusing each other of incompetence and sabotage. The once unified front of the Galactic Council began to fracture, not because of war, but because of Earth's subtle manipulation. Humanity had become the unseen force driving the Council toward collapse, and yet they hadn't fired a single official shot. The seeds of rebellion, the whispered doubts, the covert military strikes, it was all part of a larger game. A game that the AGC didn't realize they were losing, but humanity knew. The politician, watching from the shadows, knew the exact moment to push. The balance of power was shifting, and Earth was no longer the insignificant species the Council once thought it to be. The alien Galactic Council convened in a grand chamber, tensions rising as reports of human interference were laid bare for all to see. The once ignored species had now become the center of galactic debate. Council members from across the galaxy were divided. Some, having suffered firsthand in the recent war, demanded immediate action. Earth had been undermining their authority, making secret deals and sabotaging key installations. They could not be allowed to continue unchecked. Their influence spreads like a virus, one council elder snarled. They are destabilizing the galaxy. If we don't act now, humanity will become more than just a nuisance, they'll be a threat to us all. Others, however, urged caution. The war had barely ended, and the galaxy was still healing. Another conflict, especially with an unpredictable species like humanity, could plunge the galaxy back into chaos. One member, a veteran of the war, voiced what many were thinking. We lack concrete proof of their actions. We suspect their involvement, but we don't have undeniable evidence. If we strike now, we risk reigniting the war, and the galaxy may not survive another. The divide within the Council deepened. Some factions were adamant Earth had to be reined in, while others urged patience, proposing more diplomatic measures to maintain peace. But every passing day, it became harder to ignore the fact that humanity was no longer content to be a mere player. Earth's political mechanisms, forming alliances with disgruntled alien factions, were positioning themselves as a rising power. While the Council's eyes were elsewhere, humanity was preparing, building their fleet, advancing their technology, and cementing their place in galactic affairs. The politician's voice grew more intense as he outlined covert strategies. Sabotage, diplomacy, subterfuge, and covert operations would be deployed to target key AGC outposts, not to openly provoke war, but to destabilize their infrastructure and erode their control. Meanwhile, humanity would quietly amass a military force that could one day challenge even the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. We won't strike first. We won't need to, he declared. We'll make sure the foundations of their power crumble beneath them, piece by piece. And when the time comes, when they are too divided and weakened to act, we'll be ready to step in, not as survivors, but as rulers. Around the table, the others nodded in agreement, not out of blind loyalty, but because they saw the plan's brilliance. This wasn't a war for survival anymore, this was a war for dominance. The politician had made it clear, humanity wasn't going to wait its turn,